So we have some good news to report today on the domestic front. Huffington Post reports, quote, President Barack Obama on Monday banned the federal government from providing certain military equipment to police departments. The government will no longer provide local law enforcement with armored vehicles, grenade launchers, and bayonets. Let's pause here to think about how hilarious it is that in the year 2015, police departments had bayonets. If I'm not mistaken, I think bayonets were used in World War I for trench warfare. How is that still relevant today? We don't have fucking trenches in Arkansas. It doesn't make any sense, but apparently President Obama agrees with me because he's making a move on this. They continue and say, other items like explosives and riot equipment will be transferred to police only if they provide additional certification and assurances that the gear will be used responsibly. Now, let me give you the quote here from the White House Director of Domestic Policy, Cecilia Munoz. She said, quote, the idea is to make sure that we strike a balance in providing the equipment which is appropriate and useful and important for local law enforcement agencies to keep the community safe, while at the same time putting standards in place so that there's a clear reason for the transfer of that equipment, that there's clear training and safety procedures in place. Okay, so does Obama deserve credit for this? I'd say yes, absolutely, because it's a step in the right direction. But I have to admit, I'm a little tired of having to give the Democrats credit for things that are under the category of duh. I mean, this should have been the case in 1972. Just now, we have a federal government that's realizing that maybe local police departments shouldn't have fucking grenade launchers and tanks and bayonets randomly. So, yeah, give them credit, but at the same time, the bar is so low that it's like, here's a little bit of credit, and fuck you for not doing this earlier. So let me just give you one fact about this that really highlights the problem. This is from an ACLU report in 2014. They say, quote, back in 1990, the military transferred only about $1 million worth of equipment through this program, according to the ACLU. That number ballooned to nearly $450 million by 2013. Whoa. So it was $1 million a year of military equipment going to the cops in 1990, which is not that long ago. Now it's $450 million. Yeah, this is a problem because now it's all about the business of it. It's not about necessity. It's not about what's an ideal situation for police and what is the proper role of police in a civilized society. Now it's just about, oh, we're used to doing this, so let's just keep doing this because a lot of people are making money off of it. And think about who benefits from this. Defense contractors benefit from this because now they have to continue to make more weaponry and new weaponry in order to replenish that to give to the military, because the military is taking it and just passing it off to the police departments. So now you have basically two separate groups that have to buy from you. You have the military buying from you, and you have the cops buying from you. So essentially, I think when it boils down to it, this is just a ruse. This has become the same thing as the industry of war in many respects. How now we're so quick to go to war and so quick to be in favor of conflict because there are a lot of people who get wealthy off of it. And I want to be clear that I don't think this is a formal conspiracy, like it's a bunch of people in a back room smoking cigars and doing an evil laugh together. No, it's just that when you have like interests converge, you don't need a formal conspiracy. You don't need the smoke-filled back room. You just have a situation where a bunch of people want to make money, and they can rationalize the way they're making money by saying something like, well, this is for the better of the community because we have to protect from criminals, and maybe it does make sense to give police armored vehicles and grenade launchers. So what do you do to fix this? Well, here's my opinion on it. You should demilitarize the cops. You should have body cameras for all cops, and understand that it's not that it's a guarantee that if a cop commits a crime, he'll go to jail because it's on tape. We know that that's not the case because of Eric Garner in New York. But studies have shown that the police are much less likely to abuse in the first place if they have the cameras on them because they know that they're being watched. So there is a really good reason to have those cameras there, and it's very important to remember that. I'd also end the drug war. That's the elephant in the room. And then you also need to do community policing so that people are more respectful to the communities because they grew up in them. And you end civil asset forfeiture, which is ridiculous. It's just legalized robbery as long as the government's doing it. And this is probably the most controversial of all of my ideas on police reformation, but I honestly think you should take away lethal rounds as a first-choice weapon. So you redo the training and you make it so that you're allowed to have a gun if you're an officer. I don't want to go full European style and get rid of guns, but your gun should be in your car, number one. Obviously, if you show up to a place where there is shooting going on, that's a different story, and you can bring your gun with you. But if it's not a situation like that, the first rounds you should use, I don't know whether it's, pepper spray or mace or those shotgun beanbag rounds that really hurt and really can incapacitate you, but they don't kill you, or a taser or whatever it is. We need to make it so that the first choice is not lethal, because we've seen time and time again when the first choice is lethal, it's used in wrong situations all over the place. And there are very, very damaging consequences as a result of that. So those are the steps that I would take to fully reform the police department. But at least with this new move here from Obama, it's a step in the right direction.